What's up, design family, and welcome back to another episode of Fittdesign TV. So glad to have you back on the channel. On today's episode, we have a little bit more of a business-related video. We'll be looking at how to establish and maintain transparency with your customers. As a fashion brand operating in 2020-2021, it has never been more important to establish strong transparency and honesty with your customers. We'll look at 10 key ways that you can do this and explain how they work, as well as try to understand why it's so important to establish this transparency. This can help set you apart from other brands that don't have and maintain the same levels of transparency, and at the same time, it helps create a deeper and more meaningful connection with your customers and your potential customer base. This can help drive and push your business's growth long term. Hey guys, and welcome to Fittdesign TV. So glad to have you here. On this channel, we discuss all things sports fashion, graphic design, manufacturing, and technology. We'll discuss key topics, answer pressing questions, and provide actionable steps on starting your own product line. If you're interested in any of the above topics, stick around. You're in for a good one. Being transparent will help you cultivate a stronger and more engaged customer base that's more loyal long term. You could provide anything from insights into your manufacturing methods to how you plan to price your apparel. Today, and especially younger generations, appreciate this transparency more than they ever have before. Let's run you through the 10 key ways that you can establish transparency, and we'll provide you with specific examples of each. When it comes to establishing and maintaining transparency with customers, the first place to start is with your company direction. So this involves sharing where you're currently standing as a company, what you represent, and ultimately what the future direction and the vision of the company is. If you can articulate this clearly, not only do you help to create transparency with your customers, but it also helps give you and your team clarity on where you're headed. Number 2 is your product development. Especially when it comes to existing customers, sharing new product developments and plans for designs and new releases can be a great way to keep existing customers engaged and excited for future drops. 3, just as fabrics and textiles are the basis of every great fashion design, it's important to be transparent about your materials sourcing. Showcase where and how you source your materials. If there's something special about the techniques used in the fabrication process of these materials, feel free to highlight them in your marketing materials and the way that you conduct yourself on social. Last but not least in this category is your supply chain. When it comes to a strong supply chain and a company that has a social responsibility for the welfare of others, if that's something that you stand for, it could be a great way for you to be transparent about that and to show that that's actually what you're doing by showcasing the working conditions and the sort of overall standards of the factories that you work with. You can do this by providing a visual tour of the factory on your website or on other social media platforms. A great way to establish and to continue to build transparency with your customers is through your team. Everyone knows that the basis of any great company are the members that inhabit that team. So feel free to highlight your staff, whether they're local staff or even factory workers. By doing this, you can highlight your staff's dedication and overall your company's values. If you're a company that values its team, chances are consumers are going to feel that you'll value them as well. When it comes to inventory levels, provide real-time stats on inventory levels. This can create a sense of urgency to your customers who want to alleviate the fear of missing out, especially when you're highlighting that stock is low. And make sure to be honest about this. Number 7, feel free to showcase your product production, especially if you're employing cutting edge and new techniques. Why not take advantage of that and show your customers just how things are done and why your brand is so special? You're basically hitting 2 birds with 1 stone by marketing your next level approach to product manufacturing and being transparent about how your customers' products are made. 8, provide behind the scenes footage. This involves documenting the process. Instead of focusing so closely on launching curated content that is established in every way, shape, or form for perfection, feel free to let loose and to be a little bit more relaxed about the type of content you launch. This can help your customers feel a bit more engaged in your day-to-day, whether it's behind the scenes of events, production, or other types of company established. Number 9, feel free to share event updates. If your company is holding an event or something like a pop-up store, feel free to share the process of creating that pop-up store, communicating with the suppliers, contractors, and the entire process of making this happen. This will allow customers to feel more connected to your brand and appreciate these events even more, especially if they know what hard work went into it. Number 10, and I cannot stress this enough, your customers' feedback. Allow your customers to comment through a public forum or a public sort of platform, whether that's directly on your website, in a reviews system or page, or that's on your social media platforms like your Facebook page. Allow customers to be honest about their opinions, and if you have a good product, more times than not, the reviews will be positive. This will be extremely important for potential customers that have not yet bought into your brand, because a lot of these customers cite social proof as one of the primary reasons for buying. Number 11, provide insights into team building activities. By providing a behind the scenes look at how your staff works together and socializes together, this can help reinforce your company's core values. And I know that we've mentioned 10 in total, but we'll provide you with these additional 2 tips, 1 which we've already mentioned, and now 12, which is your company progression. This is my personal favorite because every company is essentially a history book in the making. People feel connected to growth and progression. They can almost see themselves in that progression. So be honest about your company's growths and its expansion, and almost sometimes its setbacks. Show that you too are human, and even a company can be a person at times. It's important to show things like your office relocation, new retail store openings, and other exciting developments that happen on a day-to-day basis or even a month-to-month basis within the company. I'd ultimately like to conclude this video by stressing how important it is to be real with customers. Transparency can be scary, and at times we fear it, but it shouldn't be avoided. Greater honesty ultimately means greater loyalty from your customers, especially if done right. This doesn't mean that you should reveal everything about your brand, especially the confidential aspects. At the end of the day, you have competitors, and there are some things that you should keep under wraps. But being honest can be a way to build trust and integrity with your customers. If they feel that they can trust you, they're going to be a lot more willing to do business with you and to ultimately keep buying the amazing products that you're going to be putting out. If you guys enjoyed this video, please consider smashing a thumbs up to help more people see it. If you guys are not subscribed, please consider doing so. We put out great content on a week-to-week basis. Thanks guys again so much for tuning in to this episode of Fittdesign TV. Until next episode, stay awesome.